Hello, 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 hello. This is John Harder, and with another episode, live broadcast number 146. Today for the TBC Kringle cash flow system. All right, ways of building communities of health, prosperity, using TBC. This morning, I want to again begin by doing a few affirmations. All right, so these affirmations, I want them to aim them towards changing our mindset about money. Almost all of humanity has most people, they have blockages in their mind. These are false beliefs about money. Because of the struggles that other people have with money, these vibrations, they reach the ears and the senses of young children, and they pick up those vibrations, and it becomes part of their belief system, and later it is a nightmare in their life because they can't seem to shake these beliefs. Matter of fact, usually have even no idea what they are. And now some people have caught on to these and are able to change them, but unless we do, or by like intentionally, or for some reason end up creating our own beliefs, disregarding our former beliefs, unless we find ways of doing this, it is impossible to ever become financially free. And so this is why I want to go over a few affirmations. I want to repeat these affirmations a couple of times. And the purpose of doing this is to change our thinking about money. For some reason, when people start talking about making a lot of money, that's when phrases like, you know, I like people. I like people more than money. I'd rather have friends than a lot of money. I'd rather be helping people or spend time with people than having a lot of money. As if it's an either or situation. Is it not true that people struggling to barely get by, is it not true that those are the ones that don't have time to spend with their family? Is it not true that people, when they have lots of money, that's when they have time freedom to spend with other people? And what about helping other people? Having money, is that not a much better way of people? Well, let's do some affirmations here. I like having lots of money to afford the lifestyle I enjoy. I like having lots of money to afford the lifestyle I enjoy. I like having lots of money to afford the lifestyle I enjoy. I like helping people, and having lots of money increases the ability to do that. I like helping people, and having lots of money increases the ability to do that. I like having lots of money. I like helping people, and having lots of money increases the ability to do that. All right? I like money because money is currency, and currency is energy. I like money because money is currency, and currency is energy. Currency is energy. The more money I have, the more good I can do in the world. The more money I have, the more good I can do in the world. The more money I have, the more good I can do in the world. I really like money. I really like money. I really like money. All right, so that's the affirmations for today. And now I want to again go and share our share the blog for a bit, or do a screen share, and I have the link posted up there in case somebody would like to come on board with me. I'd welcome you. So feel free to do that. All right, so let's go to the blog again. I realize there's again meetings where we could actually cash in on more coins, or should I say cookies, because of the different meetings that push button meetings that are still going, or maybe send button meetings. Okay, so here we are. This is Mbe's meeting, and of course, what's his name again? Where's his name? This is the Indian guy, and then we've got this. Now I believe it's in Hindu. Doc Dan? No. And then of course here we have this nice picture, and look at the you know, this looks awesome. This looks really awesome. And then we have these winners. Congratulations to them. Awesome stuff. Yes, and this I'm not quite sure what language that is again. I heard it, but I don't remember right now what language she is doing. So great stuff going on. And now what I want to do is I want to again go to cash flow, the cash flow system, because that is really what TBC is all about right now. Okay, the best way to duplicate is to get your new recruits plugged into the cash flow system. All right, so here we are, and there's a video about this. All right, and then of course here, steps in cash flow income achievement. There we go. A day, 5,000 a day, pretty awesome. And of course, here we have other articles that lead to more about. Oh, that's the same one I was at. Here, this is where I wanted to have a look. At this. And this year chart. Here we get a chart that is kind of laid out and shows us what happens with you know, when we get very active and we refer a lot of people to the Kringle.cash system. When it you know, doing hardly anything, obviously it's going to drag out a very long time. and so this year is the time period. And what is this? You know, it's that much. Is that 20 years? Probably months. What are you talking about? 10 months? 10 months, a billion? Is that what you're talking about? I guess it really doesn't matter if we say months or years or days. The difference is how active we get and how much we train the people that we are. All right, so I wanted to again, I wanted to point that out to us, and now let's go back and show. Oh yeah, this is the one. Oh, what? I have two of them? Oh yeah, that's right. I did that one for booking. There we go. And let's go back here. Go back to the Hangout. We'll stop the screen share for now. And let's see here. Thank you very much for tuning in, Susan Harder. Thank you. You were already waiting, I believe, before I was even on. Jacob Harder as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to my broadcast this morning. And Stephen Cuffey, thank you so much for tuning in. We have started evacuation on parts of my city of Chesapeake, Virginia. We have a Category 4 hurricane headed our way, and North Carolina. I am leaving to the north part of Virginia tomorrow. Oh boy, that's too bad. Well, let's hope that that it doesn't do too much damage. All right. So anybody is welcome to come on board with me if you like. I posted the link, and that is an open invitation for you to come on board if you want to. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to go back to the screen share again, and I want to actually go to a different. I want to go to a website again to show the steps, the system that we have. So let's type the whole thing in. Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna go back to the screen share, and what I've done here. There we go. I think that should work again. Okay, so I believe the screen share is on. Hopefully, is it showing? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mention you for moderating. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so what I want to show you here is that we can. also select a whole bunch of different languages in this on this website now too. Is somebody because I don't believe that my he came on board. Oh, well, in order for us to talk, then I will stop the screen share because obviously. All right, thank you very much, Stephen, for joining me. I truly appreciate it.
How you doing, John?
Welcome.
Yeah, this is the first time.
Great. How are you?
It's just a pleasure. It's an honor to be with you today, John. You know,
yes,
I was on Jacob's broadcast. I met your brother for the first time, and it was a very pleasant conversation.
Awesome. Yeah, he was telling me.
I really admire you. I've been following you all the time. I admire you. Your live broadcasts, they are so, they're just so awesome. And your leadership and all the things you talk about, on which you're 100%, you and Marjorie. And I know that Jacob and Susan, they're doing some traveling, I understand. You know.
Yeah, they're truck drivers.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they were truck drivers.
Yeah, and he talks about me as being a wanderer.
Yes, he do. He sure do. I said, 1 minute your brother. I said, 1 minute John was in Canada, and next minute he was in Mexico. Then he explained to me how y'all used to live in Mexico when y'all were younger, you know. And so, but I tell you, I said, y'all got such a big family. I said, I don't even know where to start. I only know two of the brothers so far. I only seen 2 of the brothers, but I know you got many more, you know. Wow.
Yeah, a family. We were a family of 8 boys and 8 girls.
Wow. That's an even number. You don't find that too often. You may see more than the other, but you don't find equal. That's pretty special, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do you fall in? Now you're not the oldest, are you?
No, the oldest is my sister Mary, and then my brother Pete, and then Jacob, and then me.
Oh, you're younger than Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 10 months younger. Actually, I think it's 10 months and a few days.
Now your parents. Pardon me if I ask this question. Are your parents still alive? Your parents?
No. Well, my stepmom still is. Yes, but okay. my parents. Yeah, my mother actually died when I was 1 year old.
Wow, 1 year old. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. But y'all, I want to just say that I've been thoroughly pleased about where we headed in the BillionCoin, and the work that you're doing with your free energy. You know, I talked to Jacob about that. What y'all doing with that is incredible. I didn't realize how much technology y'all really knew. I mean, y'all grew up learning a lot of things, you know, building a lot of things. And that's pretty special. You know, that's pretty incredible. You know. So
yeah, Jake and Pete and I, we have mostly in our working years have been mechanics, like usually in maintenance and things like that, where we came up with we had to come up with solutions for problems. And what I've been noticing that Pete and Jake both had the same concept about it that I always had, was to always, when we try to find a solution, to make it better and last longer than what it had before.
Right.
You know, to make it more maintenance free. And I think that has that idea has served us really well. And but now that we came up with this idea about this free engine, and it's interesting that I didn't actually know how much Jacob was involved with free energy.
Oh,
But,
I see.
Yeah, but I came across that because I'm always looking on YouTube to look at inventions and different things like that. And when I came across that video, now I did know that Jake had been, tinkering with it before, but I didn't know that he was actually busy with it at the time. And so when when we did get in touch, I learned that he had actually created a couple of units that were actually running already.
Wow.
And he was actually the one that right away said to me when I approached him about the website that I made, the free energy website.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about it, and he right away told me, he said we should go for a different type of energy at this moment because of the complexity of those magnets.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't on board with that idea at first. I thought, that wasn't really what I had in mind. But then as we talked about it more, and he said, John, we can make units to run to power large greenhouses, and there's so much we can do with these kind of engines. And so then when I gave it more thought, I totally came on board with that idea. And especially since we can already create these very easily, smaller units to do basically the same thing that those magnet units will do, except for these are much easier to build, much less expensive, and those magnets, the other units with those magnets, it's going to take quite a large amount of money, I believe, to make them in mass quantity. Because of the complexity of those magnets, right?
Well, I'm just wondering, I was wondering, because I've been following you on that. And I was just trying to find out more about it. And I was just thinking, because I know that I'm on a lot of people broadcast, particular ones overseas and in parts of Africa. And I see the things that they're lacking in electricity. Their government, and we talk about governments and central banking system, things of that fashion, but their government is really, how can I put it? They really kind of put them they're kind of stagnant. They don't. Then our government, United States, is different. Everybody's different. Everybody's government is different to some degree. But they're on technology, John. They're using 1980 technology in the 80s. They're so behind. They're so behind other countries. It's incredible. And I was talking to TV Revolution Femi. I was talking to him like I'm talking to you now. He was explaining it to me because he's extremely educated guy, and he speaks English very well. And he was just talking about how they can only use electricity at a certain type of evening, and then they got to shut it down. And then they try to use generators that's too loud. So now the powers that be won't let them use their generators. So so how do you win? So when I noticed that when I talk to them, sometimes their houses are dark. You can barely see their face because they're already got dark skin, so it's hard to see them. I said, wow. Yeah. I said, y'all can't win, can you? And then cell phone technology, the bandwidth is so weak. It's almost like, I remember, hey, John, you remember years ago when we used to have, when cell phones came out, and it was this big cell phone with the one antenna that were analog, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't have digital cell phones back then when it first came out. And
No.
when you always used to drop signals all the time, you're talking to someone on the phone. Well, that technology, even the internet is not as smooth, you know? Like your internet is pretty good. You've been over in Mexico, you know? So I just like this whole, when I think about free energy, how can that play into, how can we help people over time in TBC in areas that's lacking in certain infrastructure, you know? The infrastructure, the technology they're using. How can we get that better despite, and we're not trying to underhand their government. We're not trying to overthrow their government. But how can, the word we were using, how can we use a systematic approach to, when I say disrupt, I don't mean disrupt as in a violent way. I mean a disrupt in a systematic approach way to help people in need. And when I thought about your free energy, you and Jacob's free energy, when I talked to him and talked to you, I was thinking about other third world countries, how we can possibly get that over to them at some point to help them, you know?
Yes.
Because I was talking to people, some of the leaders in the TBC community, and I was talking to Lawrence Maleki, the leader of South Africa, and I got a conversation with him, and we were talking about, I know that we got a ways to go. I'm not trying to get off of the fast start system, and then I'm not trying to undermine anything that we're doing. I'm right with everybody, but I feel that, and I need to talk to Randy about this too, to talk to admin about this, because I feel that we need to be still thinking down the road where we want to be in the next 1 to 2 years, and I don't think we should wait till we get a year later to be thinking about these things. How can we use, once our coin becomes more liquid over 1 to 2 years, or wherever, how long it should be, how can we pull our resources, your resources, my resources, because we've been in TBC for a while. We got plenty of coin. How can we use our coin collectively to help the poor in their infrastructure? You see my point? You know? How can we use, because see, I've been kind of watching and talking to people. What did you used to, I asked the question, what did you used to do in your life? What kind of things? Are you an engineer? Are you in information technology, IT? Are you a nurse? Are you a doctor? What was your profession? Because I happen to know, guess what I recognize? We got a lot of smart people in TBC and leaders. You know that? We got some great people in TBC. So what I want people to be thinking about, and maybe this is something we can have like a Zoom meeting where we all could talk about things like this. Find out what people what their talents are. Find out how can we, yes, we're going to help the people of the poor, the poverty, but how systematically, how can we do that? Not just by our coin, but once we use our coin, okay, how can we help them mechanically do something like you all do? How can we get them, how can we start free energy for them? How can we cultivate something they need? How can we build them up from where they are? Because we got people in third world countries, John, that's living nowhere near how we live here, and even how you live. You know, they're way behind us. How can we bring them up to where we are, you know, over time? And some of the people I'm talking about are very poor. And this is kind of the discussions I will have with some of the people. When Rand and I go over in Africa, although we're doing a cash flow conference, when I talk to several people, see, I want to go out to where the people are very poor, living in huts. I want to see the same thing I visualize on TV and on computers. I want to talk to those people. I want to find out their needs. Because, John, you know what I found out? Until you find out a person needs, how can you really rightfully say you're really helping them? You see my point? You know?
Right.
You got to find out, a human being needs, because everyone has a need or two or three. Everyone has a need. Will you agree?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think you're right. We might look at it and say, well, they need this, they need that, and so on. Well, we don't really know what they need. They would know that better.
We don't know. We don't know. We got to find out. And so that's part of my mission when I go over there. I might want to find out, what are your needs? Because the world think they know, but we may not know. You know? So then once we find out the need, then we can put some strategy together. You use our mind. You know, if you use your mind, my mind, Randy's mind, use all these leaders' minds, can you imagine the magnitude of what we can do to help people? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
That's what my mind. That's where I'm going with this. You know, we can see. I'm going with it in terms of start at least. Let's become thinkers like you and me. Let's be thinking about how we really can use our coin. And we know how we can use it to help them to some degree. We know about the cash flow system. We know this. But how can we go one step further down the road? You know, when I speak down the road, I mean 1 to 2 years. What can we do once we get there? Instead of, I said these words to Lawrence Malecki. Do we want to wait? Do we want to wait? Do we want to wait until 2 years get here and just start? Or do we want to be thinking, start planning the process now, by at least having a thought process and a discussion about it? Because I grant you, once we get around, I know for a fact that we're going to come out with some great, great ideas. You know?
Yeah, especially once you get an idea of what those people need, then we can start strategizing, you know, to put something together as to how we can meet those needs, right?
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons I came on your live broadcast to discuss that with you today, because this has really been burning on my heart to discuss it with some people that I think a lot of, like yourself and your family. I was thinking, because I listen to people broadcast very good, and I listen to yours thoroughly. And and what you say, another person I think, you know, Paul Fisher out in I think he's in Las Vegas. He's another one that I really follow a lot. You know how he breaks our whole system down as compared to the status quo, the powers that be. You know, our government, the central banking systems around the world. Well, here's another person I'm thinking. I see so many great broadcasters out here. And yes, we're saying a lot of the same things, which we should be. But I get on these broadcasters, try to say to them, let's be thinking about where we want to be once we get there. But let's not wait then. Let's start now thinking about it, where we want to be. Because we are all set to be multi-billionaires based on this coin.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do with this? What good is all this wealth if we don't help the poor? But the way to, like you and I agree, we got to find out their need first. You know? Some people may have an immediate, something may need something right now, like yesterday. Then some people may need something that's maybe next 2 or 3 months or a year or two later. So these are kind of the questions I'm gonna be asking the people that's in poverty. You know, they may, some people need just food, just need water, basic needs, things that we just, we tend to sometimes take for granted because we have it all the time. But John, I'm telling you, man, you know how bad it is overseas. You know.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, it's pretty bad over there, man. I tell you, it's pretty bad. It's not. It's much worse than we probably ever experienced coming up ourselves. You know, and I don't want to go over there. Just I know I know what admin want us to do to have a cash flow coaching conference, because I do believe and I say this in my broadcast, I believe there's two reasons. But one of the main reasons we want to unlock the value of our coin. But we got to also be thinking like, how can you really tell a person how to cash flow or how to earn income in TBC if you don't do it yourself? You know? So
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to be an example for the people. So you can show a poor person how to cash flow if they understand the steps. But as I can tell people in the steps in the fast start system, don't skip over the steps. Follow each one. Because I found this, John, what people are doing. They'll get to the part where it gets to broadcast. Then they jump over the broadcast. I don't want to schedule my broadcast. I don't want to do my broadcast. I don't want to align myself with a broadcaster. I say, well, do you want to cash flow? I said, the only way to cash flow, you have to go to each step, because in Randy Wilson's cash flow coaching, you must go through each step. Because if you don't go to each step, you will not cash flow. just plain as that. Because I got people right now, John, are now starting to sign up just because they see my broadcast, and I don't even know who they are. Do you know? I don't even know how I wind up on the September contest. I don't even know where I got that one from. I don't even know where it came from. I didn't recruit that person. So no one can not tell me that broadcasting doesn't work. That's evidence right there. And then when I looked into my my criminal cash back office, I saw the name. I said that person obviously saw my broadcast. That's that, and they asked, and somehow they paid their $10 fee. You know, because I'm a cash center. I'm the only cash center, and no, there's only 2 cash centers in the state of Virginia and in the USA. Only 2 right now. I'm one of them. One is in Roanoke, which is up in the mountains in Virginia, and me here on the East Coast. And by the way, you know I'm leaving tomorrow because we got a major storm headed this way, as I said in the chat. Yeah, it's all over the news. I'm sure the world is hearing about it, but it's the worst thing that's ever come to our area, and since I was maybe 1 or 2 years old. They had a Hurricane Hazel that came here when I was 1 or 2 years old, and they said it's just that bad. So, and they think it may be like Texas was with that hurricane last summer, just stayed there and dumped a lot of rain and flooded everywhere. But see, we have, in my area, we have more water, more lakes, more the Chesapeake Bay, James River, and everything goes out to the Atlantic Ocean. But see, I'm 15 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean, Chesapeake Bay and Atlantic Ocean, 15 minutes driving distance. I'm just that close. So
we're
but
about
anyway,
that far from the Pacific.
No, yeah. Yeah, you're in Mexico. That's over there near the Pacific. They got a hurricane headed towards Hawaii right now. But it's a smaller one. A smaller one is like 75 miles an hour. But this thing that coming to us is between 130 miles an hour, gusting to 165 miles an hour.
Wow.
It is, and it's still growing. It's going over warmer waters now. So we don't know what we're going to have. I just ask everyone to pray for us. There's going to be a lot of flooding here. I know that because we had a northeaster 2 years ago, and it just was terrible around here. It was just bad. So they already pumped out all the man-made lakes already here. They pumped out the man-made lakes already. But we got some good people in the area that's really working hard, and they started evacuations already. So
Right.
people a little scared, people a little worried.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep a level head about it and just try to take precautions because my sister and I keep a 92-year-old my 92-year-old mother, and she's actually, praise God, she's still in her right mind too. She remembers Hurricane Hazel.
Yeah.
So my father passed away in 2010, but she's on that side of what they call longevity. Her mother died when she was 97, so she was 97 when her mother died. So she has that longevity track, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that I'm more like her because I'm pretty healthy myself, and thank God. And so, but I think if you're gonna be healthy, why not help someone else? You know, that's how I see
For
it.
sure.
That's how I see it. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
it's a pleasure and an honor to be on your live broadcast like this and be able to talk with you. I thought I would get to talk to you before I actually talk to Jacob. And Jacob, and I was on his broadcast. I said, I think I was on his, and I think either he was on mine or was his. All I know is I met him. It was awesome. I saw Susan. I didn't meet her, but she came into the room to get something and left. I said, "That's your wife?" You know, and she said, "That's Susan." And then I found out one moment they're in Arizona, the next moment they in somewhere else. I said, "What? Where do they live?" I said, "I'm trying to figure out where they live." I thought it was in Alberta, Canada. You know? Oh my God! Is this Marjorie?
Yes.
Oh, good. So you're the moderator, been moderating all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
What better moderator than have your wife is moderating for you? You know?
It works great.
Yeah, she sees and hears she hears. I guess she hears you, and because I heard her say Stephen is on your broadcast. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you was doing a screen. You were doing a screen share.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you met Marjorie. I don't know how you met this fine man. I don't know how you met him, but you got a special one here. You got a special one. I tell you, because he's got it here. He's got it here. He's got it.
He does.
His brother do too. You know, I hope one day I get to meet all of you. I really do. I hope one day we do. I have this idea that I hope this idea that one day, once we get to closer to our billion members, or at our billion members, or maybe before, that we can somehow meet in a centralized area, you know, where people all over the world can come. I know we got this cruise coming, but I was talking about something like a resort or somewhere, you know, that somewhere where everybody could be, you know.
Well, let me invite you then. Come to Acapulco in Mexico.
Oh my God, you were Jeff Barry, the Dollar Vigilante is.
Yes.
Oh my God, I want to meet him so bad. Oh, I want to meet him.
Yeah. Just come to Acapulco, and then we can talk there.
Yeah, no, I really would like to come to his Acapulco event that's coming in February, but I know it's so close to our cruise. So, but I gotta come there because I'm hearing all these great things about Mexico, Acapulco. I hear the housing is great. The economy is doing okay for the most part. I know you wouldn't move there now that you was used to it.
Yeah, the economy is actually going to increase much now because of the president. The new coming president is working with Trump, and they have some pretty good deals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's going to be quite a wage increase here in Mexico. Yeah.
Wow. I've been to Mexico twice when I went on a cruise, but it wasn't Acapulco. It was another part. I think it was Cozumel.
Okay.
But Yeah, I've been following Acapulco lately. I heard some great things about Acapulco.
Mm-hmm.
But you used to live there though when you were young. You used to live there.
Yeah, we lived in. Well, I was born in Durango, and then I grew up in Zacatecas.
Okay.
Zacatecas is pretty much straight east from here. It's actually not that far.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, John, I'm not going to keep you because I know you've been here a while. And I know it's just a pleasure meeting you. But thank you so much for me being here, have opportunity to meet you and talk to you here. And keep up the great work you're doing in the BillionCoin.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on board. I truly appreciate it. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for meeting your wife too. Y'all awesome people. Keep doing the great work in the community because you're definitely one of our great leaders. And I'll let Randy and let people know that I had a great conversation with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on board. All right.
I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
All right, so that will pretty much conclude our my broadcast this morning. It was really a pleasure to have Stephen on. I appreciate it very much that he came on. And you know what? I am really with him on that, as well, as far as what he was talking about was that some of us, as many as want to, at least, to begin thinking about how we will help humanity with the money that we have. Obviously, the amount of coin that we have, we couldn't possibly spend it on ourselves. Now, of course, maybe that depends on how much coin you have. But myself, when it becomes full liquid, there's no way that I could spend all of it on myself. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that we have to spend everything to be broke. That's not what I'm saying. But a tiny portion of the coin, a tiny portion of the TBC would give me everything I could possibly wish for in life. And the rest is really a massive amount of money that we can use to help other people. And especially this world we're living in, where humanity has been suppressed for so long, which the suppression looks like it is pretty much lifting now. And as we can tell, they are not backing down easy, but it is a very small number of people that really actually do have been doing the suppressing. And we win this. We will win. Truth has to prevail. It has to. It's inherent in the cosmos that truth must prevail. So we do not need to doubt. Okay. So the truth is that once our money does become liquid, we will have very much at our disposal to help humanity. And I want to leave us with that thought. Let us be, how did it say? Harmless as doves and wise as serpents. So that we really do help humanity with the resources that we have. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate every one of you. And so with that, I'm going to let you go. So you have a wonderful day or evening or whatever it is that you're approaching. And peace.